haze is wrong and it is destroying your footage. Hello, my name is Marco Bagnoli and today we talk about the Russian beer commercial. A lot of people will say to you, you have to haze your footage to make it look cinematic. But there is actually a right way and a wrong way, and it depends on the situation. After watching this video, you should be able to shoot something like this. This is the first shot we're looking at, and we're in this bar. You can already see the logo of the brand in the background, and we have this typical hazy, dark, late night bar feeling. How do we create something like this? First thing first, I always tell people the most important thing about your shot is not your lighting, not your decoration. First of all, it's the person that we're showing. So we have this young woman, early 20s, wearing this Mexican shirt, and this also already gives us a bit of color. People tend to always let people wear black, white, gray, but it really makes your footage look less pretty or important, because you always have to think about it. This is a commercial. You want people to see this commercial, so you put something more interesting or eye-catching on them, so people will notice this in a video. That's the reason why you often see a car commercial and they use these really ugly colors, but these colors make the cars pop more and you will see them better in a commercial. To light a scene like this is actually pretty simple, because we are limited. We are in a limited space and we are exactly at the bar counter, so our light has the only option to come from here or from above. But top lighting tend to be very unpleasing for a woman, because you get raccoon eyes and long shadows. You really have to have a big soft source to make it a bit more creamy and soft, and that's not possible most of the time in a bar. So we go for a soft side light. So how do you create a soft side light? You can just check how much space you have here and flag this table out, because you won't want to make the table as bright as hair. So you tend to flag everything that is not hair off. My light of choice in situations like this is a Godox 600 carpet light, because when you use a 600B or something like this with a light dome, you need a lot of space. And this big carpet light from Godox is only a print of this size, I think, and it's much easier to fit into the small spaces like here. So for this commercial look, you most of the time have this really soft, creamy feeling. You can double diffuse it when you have the space. Put a 6x6 or 4x4 half-width silk on there to double diffuse it, to get this really nice roll off. As you can see, it's not really contrasty, that shot. But I still think here was someone with a bounce board to fill in those shadows, because at the bar you don't have a lot of light sources at night, so there's literally no ambience at all, and that's the reason why you have to fill in the shadows a bit, otherwise the shot will be too contrasty. And speaking of filling in the shadows, now we talk about the haze. A lot of people will say, yeah, we have a bar scene, for sure we're gonna use haze, but they understand the usage of it. So what's the benefit of using a hazer in a scenario like this? First thing, a hazer lifts the shadows. So everything in the background is a lot less contrasty and let our actor pop a little more. But this is the key word. You haze in the background. You only want this haze as an atmosphere and not interfering with our actor. When you have a lot of haze coming through your actor, in front of your actor, first thing you will see a big glow from your light. Because you want soft light, you get really close to the actor, and now we have light up the haze, and now you would get a big bloom of light around the actor, which is really unpleasing for the eyes. And also you will see the haze and a little distraction, and your actor will also get less contrasty. For a commercial type like this, you want to do that. You want your actor to look punchy and fresh and just a bit more haptic. So next time when you try to haze a scene, tell the man with the hazer, just move around in the background and give us a little bit more atmosphere, because it will destroy the contrast on our actor. There are still scenarios where you want to haze everything, because it's a look. we are filmmaking, there are no rules. So when you want to drop the whole contrast on the whole image, you can do it when you have the space, when it's benefiting the look. But here, I would always choose to only haze the background. Next thing to make this shot a bit more pleasant is practicals. They have the big benefit of having the logo from the company here, but everything else, here have refraction, here have refraction, here have refraction, here have reflection. And then we're going here, where you can see it's maybe outside or different part of the room, where they put probably an Astera in the background from the top and put it on a much cooler, or it's even blue. That's not cool, that's a blue color, to get a little bit of color contrast. Because the overall scene is pretty warm here when we only have this sector. And most of the time you don't want to make it that monochromatic. So you put in some corner a different temperature to balance the whole shot out, so that's not just warm and washed out. So this is the next shot of the reaction of the game from the audience. And as you can see, there's a lot of Mexican flags everywhere. Maybe this is not a Russian commercial, but I'll tell you why I thought it was a Russian commercial. Same thing as before, light the background, haze the background, give us some practicals so that we have a lot of visual interest. And when you do something like this, where you want to focus on something, now you want the audience to look at the game, you don't light the people. What I mean, you don't light the people, because you can clearly see, oh, there is light on the people, but you only backlight them. You don't want to see them. That's not important. You only want the concept of them being there. So what you can do is put out of frame some lights, could be also carpet light, should be small lights, and just blast them towards the camera. So we just get a little bit of light wrap around them, so that we get the concept of, okay, there are people there, but because we only lighting from this side, we get a new layer, and which makes everything more three-dimensional, but also doesn't irritate the viewer that we have to look at all of these people at the first time and then look at the monitor, because we want everyone to look at the monitor the second this image comes up. So this is a shot from people enjoying the game at home. And why does this shot look good? I told you several times before, as a cinematographer, you only have most of the time to enhance the lighting that's already here. Because we can see, we go into a room, they're sitting on this couch. Now we know, okay, there is the window. So this is the only place where the light is coming from. So what do? We place them at the position. Continuity in shooting like this is pretty irrelevant. This couch can be at 1 second here and the other shot at the end of the room and then in another place, because the commercial is 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long. The people don't have the time to think about, okay, hey, wasn't that couch there? Was it there? No, you try to make it as good looking and immersive and engaging as possible. Don't think too much of the couch was the shot before 3 meters further away, because we had a lot of cutting from this scene to another. People won't notice. Try to make it look as good as possible and ignore logic in a commercial like this. Then, as I said to you before, we know, okay, the light is coming from here. So we put a big light outside, and there are different techniques where you can do it. Sometimes it's enough when this is the window, you put a big light here and blast really hard light to the people that they get this nice side lighting. But you want always to replicate the feeling of the window. So the other technique is that you put a butterfly in between and shoot your big lights through the butterfly and then through the window. Then when you have really, really big output, you're going for a bounce light. That means you put your few big lights and have your butterfly, something like this here, bounce the light into the butterfly, and then it comes to the ceiling, which gives a really the most natural but also directional look. But you really, really, really need a lot of output to accomplish something like this. Sometimes you even diffuse the lights and double diffuse it for a book light. Don't try to think about something like this when you don't have the money. When you have the money for it, you just say to the gaffer, I want lighting like this, and it will do something like this. So you don't have to know the exactly way how to do it. So just know that you have to enhance the light that's already there. Most of the time you don't have it like here. you will put another light in the background, which gets a little bit more contrast in the background so that it's not just flat. But it's not necessary for here because it's a really fast shot. The only other thing you have to do is light bounces a lot in situations like this in interiors. So you black out the whole other side of the room and just control the fill from yourself. So you go with your bounce boards as close as you want or as far as you want to just fill in. But if you have a lot of time and more space, you would put another butterfly in front of them, or big carpet light, a few big carpet lights, and bounce a light through it so that it fills the scene like this, so that we just extend the wrap of the light. That will get the most natural result. You can fill it from the other side, but then you get a little bit of cross lighting and it really looks really bad on the face. So if you have the time and the space, you probably will do it like this. So this is the shot where I thought this is maybe a Russian commercial, because we have this Cyrillic text all over here, which is also clearly VFX and not real. Why is this a good looking shot? It's because of leading lines. Always think about when you're going to the room, okay, I want to show something, so how can I place the people and everything around it that the viewer is forced to look into this position. And they managed this with this nice top lights here and here, that it's already creating focus of the light on the person. You can see this guy is in silhouette, and in the next shot he will have a lot of more light on him, because then he is important. Now he isn't important. That's the reason why he get not a lot of attention. This is important. This also makes your life a whole lot easier when you don't try to light everything because in the scene. Always just think about it, what is important, and when you're doing 90% of this, your shot will look good. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. My name is Marco Bagnoli and I'll see you next time.